Ooh, what's good, family? Shout out to my doggy, Rusty Bar, for sponsoring your Mando IV. Boosting up them coins once again, General. Respect. On to today's topic. I got some breaking news, some leaked news regarding Anthony Zest Johnston and Stepaside Gate. Now, no one ain't got this leak. That's what we do know. Yeah, as far as leaks goes, this is the leakiest leak. Now, you man know that I've got some connections, in particular in the GCHQ, kind of one of them Secret Service things, and essentially they keep taps on quite a lot of the key individuals within the cabal. And anyway, cut a long story short, I got a wiretap from Anthony Johnston's phone, and it shows him on a conversation with Prince DJ Khaled. Yeah, now for you man who don't know, Prince DJ Khaled is the man who he's basically the big cheese. He's the big boxing cheese over in them sides, them UAE sides, them Dubai sides. Yeah, he's the one who financed the Anthony Johnston versus Andy Ruiz, aka Mr. Blobby fight. Put up that big piece of $100 million cheese. What I'm hearing now, having listened to the wiretaps from Johnston's phone and having heard the full conversation, Mr. Anthony Johnston was on a call, and you see there also I wrote a text note at the bottom, and AJ was saying, "Let me listen to what's going on." He's on the blower on a freeway with Prince DJ Khaled and essentially Team AJ was on the phone to Prince DJ Khaled, trying to work out the details regarding Stepaside. Because on your screen now, you also notice that the AJ versus Usyk fight is set to be in the UK. That's what Eddie Hearn was saying within this month. So the AJ and Usyk fights was supposed to be in the UK, which means it's got nothing to do with DJ Khaled. So the question is, why would Team AJ clandestinely or discreetly be on the blower with Prince DJ Khaled? It's got nothing to do with Prince DJ Khaled. It'd be one thing, yeah, if, for example, well, YB, AJ and Usyk was supposed to be in UAE anyway, so this could mean they're setting up the rematch. No. The only way the UAE and Prince DJ Khaled figures into things at all is for Stepaside. And it makes sense. To an extent, I have to hold my hands in the air. Why? Well, I told you that, there's no way Johnston's going to get £15 million. And I still stand by that. I don't think there is. I think that's a fake news figure put out there so that Johnston can wheel out the defence of, oh man, I gotta get the bag, and generational wealth, and yeah. But even to be honest, the intricacies are irrelevant. The point is, from a fan's point of view, it's either Stepaside or not. Whether it's 10 trillion or £1 don't make a difference to us, does it? Doesn't change the landscape at all. The landscape is he fighting Usyk, or is he fighting no one and stepping aside? So as far as that goes, we know Team AJ, we know AJ versus Usyk was supposed to take place in the UK. So the likelihood of DJ Khaled suddenly being dragged in to make the Usyk fight don't make no sense. And you tell me, is it a coincidence that in the same few days we hear allegations from the Daily Telegraph that AJ's about to make a deal? Within that same time period, the YB's contact at GCHQ sends me a quick link through to AJ on the phone to Prince DJ Khaled. The only way it makes sense, or the most likely, the likelihood is that Team AJ are on the blower with Prince DJ Khaled to source the finance for the Stepaside, because no one else ain't going to pay it. Even if it's $1 million, to be honest, Fury ain't going to pay that. Fury ain't going to pay $1 million out of his pocket. Fury is the tightest dude going. He loved the coin. As an argument, I'm hearing that AJ and Fury are going to have some sort of playoff to see who loved coin the most. Because trust me, Fury loved coin. He loved the coin. He fiend for the coin. Yeah? There's two things Tyson Fury fiend for. Coin and a sniff. 100%. Yeah? And it's a close battle. Because we know he loved the white. Yeah? Tyson Fury loved that white. Anyway, listen. It's a shame I have to bring you this news. I know AJ fans are going to be big mad, but it is what it is. AJ, you see his quotes. He was tuning in to see what's going on between his team and Prince DJ Khaled. That's why he's on the phone with Prince DJ Khaled, seeing some of the details. Don't forget, in his own message, he said, "Oh, I haven't seen a contract yet. I haven't seen details yet." That's why he's tuning in to Prince DJ Khaled to work some of them details out right now. Because like I said, and the crazy thing is, what do we know about the Usyk and Fury fight? Well, the Usyk and Fury fight, where was that rumoured to be? Or who were meant to be the big backers in that? UAE, Prince DJ Khaled. Yeah? Because the only place it makes sense to put the unification on, the only way they can buy out Dillian White and AJ is if it's a big backer. Usyk and Fury really isn't a big fight, domestically speaking. If that fight was to be a normal show and not be backed by the Saudis or the UAE cats, it don't do numbers. There's an argument. I'd actually bet, yeah, that Fury and Chile and Shite do better numbers than Fury and Usyk, because we know Usyk ain't gonna sell nothing. Fury and Dillian, there's an argument that's a bigger fight. So Fury and Usyk, they can't afford to pay any step aside to anyone. And the event itself is only big. Step aside itself really only makes sense if it's going to be a big Saudi event. They're going to put the money up. They're going to make it a big show, and it's going to be one of them ones. If it's not going to be that, and that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing from people actually close to the situation. I'm hearing now that there's not actually much demand within the team. So when you look at Frank Warren and Alexander Usyk's team and AJ's team and Dillian White's team, from their points of view, I'm hearing they're not interested in making Usyk versus Fury if it's just going to be another show. They're only interested in making it if it's going to be a big Saudi show, a whole bunch of money flowing everywhere, everyone's fattened up, which makes sense. It's business, don't forget, people. I mean, if you haven't, F the boxing, if there's one thing we know over the last week is, everyone's got a rock hard, everyone's got their lipstick out for business. No one ain't really interested in the purity of boxing. If this was about the soul of boxing, yeah, AJ would have been signed the Usyk fight. Dillian White would have been signed the Fury fight. And that would be that. So we know it ain't boxing ruling things. It's purely about the coin. And if it's about the coin, the Saudis are the only way this makes sense and or gets done. So again, is it knowing all that context I've given you now, knowing that the insiders, Eddie Hearn, Frank, don't really want this fight unless it's going to be Saudi backed. What do you now think about the fact that Mr. Johnston, conveniently, Mr. Who Loved the Coin, Mr. I'm going to make a great business decision, what do you think about that cat being on the phone with Prince DJ Khaled, the very man who can make, he the mover and shaker. Listen, when it comes to coin, Mr. DJ Khaled is the mover and shaker. Prince DJ Khaled, he the mover and shaker. He the mover of the coin. Yeah? He's Mr. Coin. Prince DJ Khaled, aka Prince Coin. Yeah? So it's one of them ones. It really is. It's a sad day for me. Truth be known. Sad. Because every day that goes by, there's a little piece of me that hopes and prays that, when I tell a lie, I'm lying to you. I was about to say that, there's a piece inside of me that thinks Johnson might, he ain't got it. He finished. Yeah, that's the truth. There was, maybe a year ago, I had some hope in me that maybe this, maybe that, and maybe if he gets with Shane, but now, he's sold out. Yeah, he ain't got no soul left. He just about coin. That's the bottom line. So, it makes sense, really. AJ, Mr. Coin, is on the phone with the man who had the coin. Prince DJ Khaled. So, it's one of them ones, people. This for me is confirmation, yeah, that AJ is taking step aside. Bottom line. And I've got a question for you AJ fans to finish off. If you disagree, tell me. Don't forget, people. Like, for example, in the last 2 years, yeah? Don't forget, AJ fought Ruiz 2.5 years, or 2 years and 2 months ago. So in 2 years and 2 months, when was the last time you saw Mr. Anthony Zest Johnston on the phone with Prince DJ Khaled? Oops. Yeah, you haven't seen him on there. So you tell me, is it a coincidence in this very volatile time when we know the unification fight all of a sudden has been dragged out of bed again? And we know there's allegations of step aside? Is it a coincidence in this very period of all the periods AJ may have been on the phone with Prince DJ Khaled? It's a coincidence that it was this time. I don't think so, folks. AJ, from what I understand from my contacts in the UAE, was essentially begging Prince DJ Khaled to pay for the step aside. He was saying something along the lines of, listen, I can't go in there with the middleweight again. The middleweight gonna fill me in good and proper. Please, Mr. Prince, please sell some more oil coins so that you can bail me out, because I don't want nothing to do with it, this middleweight. That's what I'm hearing. It was something along the lines of that. He was saying, please, Pappy Prince, save me, and yes, if you want me to come over and do some zesty thing, because I know you man are I know you man are into some of that zesty thing in the lifts and whatnot, yeah, in the elevators, yeah, that's what he said, 100%. AJ said, he goes, I know some of your family are into some of that zesty thing in the lift with some of your employees and whatnot, or some of your man slaves, and one of them ones, and then you have, hey, listen, bottom line, fact of the matter is, yeah, AJ, he begged the thing with Prince DJ Khaled. Yeah? And it looks like he's going to get his way. Because, well, listen, he either will or he won't. But what we need to know is, what you AJ fans need to understand is, if this doesn't end up happening, it won't be because AJ hasn't tried his hardest. It won't be because AJ hasn't already grabbed his ankles. Yeah, if this deal doesn't come off and he ends up fighting Usyk, please don't think that, he wanted to do it. No, he didn't. Because trust me, when AJ wants to do something, he does it. When AJ wanted to fight Ruiz, he took Ruiz to court. Now, 5 months after his fought, he's on the phone to Mr. DJ Khaled, trying to source financing to step aside. Come on now, folks. Get serious. Yeah? The last thing he wants is to go in there and Mr. Middleweight, and it's embarrassing. Because if I was in the camp, yeah, there wouldn't be no step aside. If I was in the camp, the lipstick would be so far out for Usyk, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, trust me, it'll be a medical marvel how much lipstick Johnson would have out for Usyk right now if I was in the camp. But he's full of zesty. Listen, AJ camp is full of zests. Yeah, and that's what he is zest too. Trust me, you don't go from Anthony Johnston 2015 to Kelly Maloney in 5-6 years without being surrounded by zest. Yeah, this is AJ suffering from chronic zest syndrome. There's heaps of it all over the place. His training team zest. Yeah, his management team. Trust me, AJ's got the most beta management team. 258 management full of betas, 100%. There's no doubt about that. He's full of sidemen. AJ's whole team of sidemen. Look at Skins, sideman. For example, yeah, what man, of all the men around Johnson, which of any of them are doing their own thing? Oops, they're all just sitting there with their hands open. What people has he got doing their own thing and trying to make their own way? People criticise me, YB, you this, you that. I'm trying to make my own way. That's what I'm trying to do. I could sit there with my hand open begging as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Who can't do that? Who can't sit there with their hand open begging? Yeah? So, you know what I'm saying? If I had some rich friend and I sucked him off, maybe I'll be doing whatever I'm doing as well. Yeah? Let's call a spade here. Johnson got a bunch of hand open looking ass nicks. Yeah, just standing there with a hand open. Looking for a come up. That's your Johnson team. And that's why he ain't gonna bring the YB in there, is he? 'Cause I'll tell him to fix up. Yeah, I'll tell him to keep your coin. How about that? Keep your coin and fix it. How about that? Yeah? How about keep your coin and grow some balls? That's what you want to do. How about on the phone begging Prince DJ Khaled for a handout because you're scared of Usyk? You're embarrassing Johnson, truth be known. You're a proper embarrassment. The boxing gods are turning in their grave. Yeah? Oh, but I got the coin and I'm a businessman. You a zesty man is what you is.